Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Faculty of Science and Technology here at the UWI Mona campus. This is a very special broadcast on this, the United Nations International Day for Persons with Disabilities. So we are observing in the UE community, and we are highlighting and bringing awareness to persons with disabilities. And you know, these international days are really very important because they serve the purpose of building awareness and educating the world on matters which are crucial to global development. They also are allowing us to highlight and to celebrate and to recognize the achievements of people who have excelled among us. And today we are joined by Miss Ginnel Peart. Ginnel is a graduate of the FST, a recent graduate, I might add. And Ginnel is going to share her experiences as a student with disability studying here in the FST. All of these moments and all of these international days, including this one, all of these are important because they allow us to shape a future of inclusion, diversity, and equality. And that's the only way, ladies and gentlemen, that our world is going to progress. So I'm going to introduce you, everybody, to Ginnel Peart. Ginnel, how are you today?
Thank you, Dr. Singh Wilmot, for having me. It's really an honor and privilege to be here, to be speaking on such a beautiful topic, one that needs to be discussed and bring more awareness to. And as such, the UN saw it fit to have a day acknowledging international disability awareness. And that is, for UN to have it, it's a big thing. It's a big deal. And that's so awesome.
So Ginnel, before we get into that, I want you to tell the people about you. You graduated from the FST recently. Congratulations, ma'am, with your BSc majoring in animal biology. Tell us a little bit more about Ginnel, the person, those other dimensions to you, apart from the fact that you're a scientist. Tell us some other things about Ginnel Peart.
I'd say Ginnel Peart is an individual that is discovering who she is each and every day. Because had it not been where I came to the faculty or came to the campus itself, UMONA campus, I would not have been who I am today, because that's when I realized who I am really. Like, I have blossomed into being more open and vibrant, and I'm now a Ginnel that I really do appreciate, a more fun Ginnel than ever before. So I'd say Ginnel is someone that is learning who she is. She's now becoming more vulnerable, more accepting of her disability, and now showing up in spaces, being the voice for others that can't necessarily speak, or those that are afraid to speak up. So I'll be the voice for you. As long as we have the disability, we are going to shine and we're going to show up in places. And also, I'm not just one that, you see me, I'll be the nice one and the vibesy one, but at the same time, I'm the more serious one and the down-to-earth type, and just a mixture of whole dynamics, which represents the faculty itself. Area in science, yes, but with many disciplines that are so dynamic and different, but interlink at the same time. That is who Ginnel is.
So you're a complete person, Ginnel. Apart from your studies and your work as a student of science and as a scientist, what other things are you involved in your community, for instance? You know, what other organizations do you work with promoting people with disabilities? Tell us a little bit more about those other dimensions of you.
All right, so I am the most recently newly appointed member for the Combined Disabilities Association. I'm one of it, well, I am its newest member right now as it stands, where I am also the youngest, and it's very beautiful. Thus far, the journey has been beautiful and one that is full of experience and learning and all the nice things, because I now get to stand in the capacity to learn more about persons with disability, and not only that, also be able to be there to at least help the community itself, which is something I've always wanted to do, and to build Jamaica at large. I'm also a mentor for the We Transform program, where we serve wards of the state, boys and girls all over Jamaica, as long as they are in the correctional institution, and we're making transition into schools as well. So I also serve as a mentor in that capacity. And whilst at UE, I also served as a Faculty of Science and Technology mentor for first year and second year students. So I not only am an individual that loves advocacy, but I like dabbling in various areas to bring awareness and information, and to show that even though I might have a challenge, I am capable of doing some things that quote unquote normal persons can do, and even more, because as some persons would say, when you lose a sense, one is heightened, but I'm physically challenged. No, let's say foot not so strong, but my vocals are very strong, and I will definitely let my voice be heard.
You are a complete individual, Ginnel, one who's using her talents to serve and to advance not just herself, but her entire community. Tell the people what your disability is.
I am an individual with muscular dystrophy. That is layman's term, muscle weakness. So the muscles deteriorate. That's what I have. So I have a physical challenge.
And translate that to what limitations you have because of your disability.
Okay, so my limitations are where there are times when my hands will feel weak, or for example, many may not even know or realize when I'm in class, I'm writing, but I'm the slowest writer because I can't write fast. Or when I'm in exams, when I come out, fingertip will burn because I can't manage the whole heap of writing, but I'm going to write my exams. Walking for far distance is a thing. So I can hold on, and I have a fear of walking and falling, because that's what muscular dystrophy does for you. When you're walking, you don't necessarily know when you're going to fall, you just fall. Well, for me, that's what happens to me. I'll be standing and I'll just be on the floor the next second. So I have a serious fear for the floor, because we have a beautiful relationship, because we often get to know each other, which I don't appreciate. So that's my challenge, just to probably hold something heavy, or to lift something at times, or to walk. But at the same time, these are things I actually enjoy doing. So I'll push myself to the limit sometimes.
And she does have a sense of humor, everybody. It's such a pleasant person she is. So Ginnel, you use a wheelchair.
Yes, I do.
So many people will be wondering about your journey in the FST. I call it your My FST experience as a student. When you think about studying in the sciences, everybody knows you've got to be in those labs, and you're doing animal biology. It must mean that the FST is a special place. And in fact, a little bit more than that, the FST has facilitated you, has empowered you, has been a place that supported you in your journey to your degree. So I want you to tell the people a little bit about your journey and your experience in the FST.
All right. So my journey in the Faculty of Science and Technology was beautiful. That much I'll say. It might not be the usual journey that others take, but mine was one that had beautiful pathways and a lot of obstacles. But guess what? We're going to get over it. And that's what I experienced from day one. From the very first day I entered the lecture theater, I remember seeing Dr. Hislop, and we got our lecture, and you're not going to stay here almost years and all of that. And it was the plan. Do the 3 years and get out, but it didn't go that way for me. And I'm grateful that it didn't go that way for me, because had it not gone that way, I would not have been the individual I am today. And I would not have experienced some of the things I experienced in the faculty. So normally in the faculty, especially while doing my degree, students would go in second year and third year, would go on trips to various sites of campus. In my case, it's different. I had to plan a year ahead to ensure that I was on that trip because I wanted to be there. I might not be able to go on every trip, but I'm going to definitely get myself involved in one or two, and that I did with the help of my lecturers and deans and just everyone coming together, the faculty office, the department office, everybody just coming together to ensure that it is a reality. And not only does our lecturers go far and beyond, and the department personnel, but also our technical and service staff, they even go far and beyond. So my journey wasn't easy, but it was beautiful. And I must say that the Faculty of Science and Technology is a beautiful area to be in. The spine, the labs, the crazy labs, it's all worth it in the end. Trust me, it's all worth it. And not only that, it's just an experience that if you don't have it, you wouldn't really understand what it's like.
Right.
And
And the growth, Ginnel, that happens, you said, because of the experience you have grown.
yes.
But there are some special people you met along the way, and some more special than others. Would you like to pull out any one or two of those people in particular along the way? And also, would you like to tell us about the role of the UWI's office? There is a center for students with disabilities on the campus.
Yes, Dr. Wilmot. When you said I have persons that I hold dear to my heart, I do. And funny thing, when you said it, I thought of the Office for Special Student Services, because from the get-go, they were there. When I started UWI, I remember being in the tent down by Bowl, and I got the call that they found out that I'm a person with disability, and they told me to come to the office. And I called mommy same time, and I said, Mommy, I got a call from the office. They said they need to meet me. I need to go up there. And from that day on, everything just went on beautifully. A lot of times persons think I'm a part of the staff in the office because of our communication, the relationship that we have, but that is very tight knit. And had it not been for them, some of the challenges that I have faced would be over the top, and probably I would have given up, because the Office for Special Student Services not only informs our lecturers that, hey, you have a person with disability in your classroom, they also host our exams in the building itself. We are set up in cubicles, not that we are under exam conditions, just as everyone at the tent or in the assembly hall, because we're all in rooms, in our cubicles, closed away, silence everywhere, pen and paper on decks. And when the time goes, you better start writing, or you better start talking, because you have a scribe. If you are blind, you're having a scribe. If, for example, I had an incident where I couldn't write, I had a scribe. I had to talk for my exam. So my scribe writes exactly what I'm saying. You have persons that, even students, volunteer their service. They volunteer and give up their service to bring other students to classes so that they can attend and write their notes for them, or they come over and while the student is doing a project, they're there typing away what the student needs and all of that. So the Office for Special Student Services is basically the backbone for every student that has a disability on campus that goes to the office. Even if you don't go to the office and live there like I do, as long as they know you are in the faculty or you're on the campus, anywhere you are, They're going to find you. They're going to let you know that they are there and the services they offer, and also how best they can assist you.
Right, Ginnel. And, we don't have it all perfectly laid out as yet, but indeed the UA has commissioned and we have already we have a draft of the One UA Disabilities Policy, which is aimed at providing an environment where students and staff with disabilities are appropriately supported, are encouraged to take part in all aspects of the university's life, from academic to professional, social programs, free from discrimination and harassment. And
I know, Dr. Simon,
go
not to
ahead,
break
Jenna.
you. I know it's not perfect yet, but I must say it's a work in progress, and it's something I appreciate, because trust me, I have put myself out there where I have been course rep, and trust me, no matter how we're going to have our meetings upstairs, it's going to be relocated to facilitate the meeting so that I can attend. Not only that, if it is that I have because we have labs that are upstairs. I've seen where my labs have moved to downstairs to facilitate me. I can walk the stairs, yes, but there might be someone else that can't. And there were times when I could not manage to climb the stairs, and guess what? Class is either going to move from upstairs, come downstairs, or guess what? We have a service and technical staff that they're very helpful, because Jermaine Williams, I can say he's my family member, he's my brother, my daddy.
I was wondering when you were gonna call out Jermaine. Go on, keep on going.
Yeah, Jermaine, trust me, he has been my foot while on campus. Anywhere on campus I am, if I'm hungry, if I need to reach upstairs, it's just to call Jermaine and let him know that, Jermaine, boy, in a sticky situation, and really I need to get here. And to know that it's literally a community and a village that is behind you, it's beautiful. For me, I call my UA experience like I have persons in my village, and a member of my village, I call him like he's one of the top members in my village, Jermaine Williams. And so I'm glad I was a part of the Faculty of Science and Technology and no other faculty. I can tell you that. People think Faculty of Science and Technology is a hard faculty because science and all of that, and we might have stairs and we might not have the newly renovated structures and all of that. But guess what? The community that we have over there is superb to none.
So Ginnel, that's it's amazing that you've had these experiences, and I said the One UA policy, the One UA Disabilities Policy is coming, so that can you imagine how much better it's going to be then? And in addition to that, our faculty and each faculty in the university is looking on how we can improve the infrastructure to support persons with disabilities. It's fabulous just to hear you speak, and I feel it in my bones when I listen to you talk. I can feel the genuineness in how you express about your experience. But for students who are listening on, Ginnel, and we possibly have to, I could talk to you forever on this, because I could listen to you forever on this. But for people who are listening on, who might be scared to make that move to take on university education, particularly education in STEM, I hear you telling them, do not fear. But Ginnel, how do they overcome fear of these hardships and even of discrimination? How do people, not just outside of the university now, in the Jamaican society and in the world, how have you done it? What is it about the way you've been cultured, about the way you are, that make you rise to the occasion of the challenges and see the possibilities and not the problems in a situation?
All right, so it would not be of myself. It would have been persons that were allowed to step in my pathway along the journey. And trust me, one way to look about this is to not necessarily acknowledge your disability. Know your disability, know your limitations. Because I remember Dr. Garway, When he stood in that lecture theater room, science lecture theater room, and spoke to us about acknowledging your limitation and knowing your limitation and knowing how best you can overcome, trust me, that was a message for me that I needed to last me for a lifetime.
And yet it was a message for all of us, see, and for all students, not just students with disabilities, but you connected with it.
Yes, because when you acknowledge your limitation, it's not that you are a person with disability, that even though we have limiting factors, there are certain things that we are more than capable of doing. And that's what you put your greatest efforts into, not necessarily your weakness, but your strength. And for me, I would say my strength is my determination, my drive to persevere. And despite all the pain I felt, I can tell you the neck pains, I remember them, the fingertip pains, everything, I remember them. But because of perseverance, and that is what is going to keep us, perseverance, just keep pushing, keep going forward. Remember your why. Look here, no matter how you have a challenge, no matter your disability, as long as you acknowledge that you have a strength that you can apply into STEM, just go at it. There are going to be naysayers, because trust me, I didn't realize that there were many naysayers until I got to UE. As I said, UE was a place where I realized that, hey, you don't even realize what you're capable of doing. Let me show you what you're capable of doing. Because persons along your journey will see you in the wider society and look at you and tell you you're not good enough.
Or you can't make it to university, for instance.
Exactly.
Right?
Whether it's financial or whatever it is, maybe you're not as fast as someone else. They're going to use it against you, but guess what? That's just to intimidate you, because they themselves are afraid that you will outshine them. And I've seen it, because when I came to UE, I had persons confessing to me to say, boy, Ginnel, I never expect you to reach us, you know. And then that's when I realized that when they said what they said to me, even though it hurt at the time, I was like, whoa, wait. This person was more afraid of what I was capable of doing than thinking that I was incapable. So today I'm going to say you're more than capable. If it's even a little small hope that you have within, or you can glimpse a little capability, as we'd say, small as a mustard seed, just believe that it can move mountains and you're one step closer to your dream. Faculty of Science and Technology is there to help you grow and go forward and achieve that dream.
You're an absolute inspiration, my dear. That's not just an advocate, not just a scientist. You are, seem to me, you have motivational speaking skills in there somewhere, because you are an inspiration and you're able to articulate it so eloquently. How did you feel at graduation, Ginnel? And what about your family? And you know, tell me about family, mom, dad, grandma. Tell us about that. How did you feel? It must have been an awesome moment, a goose pimple moment, more than goose pimples.
Well, Dr. Wilmot, to be honest, we did not, the plan was for all of us to sit in one area and watch the ceremony, but that did not happen. I think we need to really have a night where all of us,
graduation.
Yes, or even say we're going to do a video, we're going to sit down and just watch back over the video, or a Q&A.
When you put that gown on, Ginnel, when you put that gown on, when you got your degree,
that, I must say, that experience in of itself, I remember very clearly. I remember when I went to take my pictures, because we know it's COVID time and things aren't the same anymore. So our family members weren't allowed inside. But guess what? I had family members on the inside that I didn't know I had. And these were complete strangers. But I remember when they took the gown down, and yes, naturally I'm 5'8" thereabouts, but sitting in my chair, I'm a small person. So they found a gown that was fitting enough that wouldn't be dragging on the ground for me to be in, so that I could transport myself to where I needed to take my pictures. And I remember there was a mirror in the room, and I stood before it. When I finished putting on my gown, I was assisted with putting on my gown, and the lady did it so gracefully, and she was just talking to me, and she was telling me how proud she is of me. And when I turned around and looked in that mirror, there was a young lady videoing it for me as well. And she don't know me. Maybe she glimpsed me on campus. I'm not sure. And when I looked in that mirror and saw myself, I can tell you, tears come to my eye, because I'm like, whoa, this is
Wow.
really it. I'm at the end of this journey. Yes, the challenges were there, but I had a mighty army behind me, supporting me, and we have done it. This is it.
Absolutely.
So when graduation day came and they heard Ginnel Peart, who screamed and whoo, and I screamed and then start crying, because I realized, okay, this is it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So Ginnel, then what's next? What's next for Ginnel Peart?
What is next for Ginnel Peart is just continuing to be the voice for others. Also herself, because if I'm not the voice, who will be it? Because each and everyone has their purpose in life, and maybe my purpose in life is just to be the voice for someone, even myself. And not only that, I am one that I love motivating people. So
You're a natural at it.
I love motivating others. So I share my experience on my YouTube channel, where I have a sit down and I'll speak on quotes that I see or quotes that I even do myself. I'll speak and motivate others. I share it on my social media platform with my name, Ginnel Peart, or on YouTube, my Instagram, Ginnel Peart, or on YouTube, I do it, Ginnel Peart, a living testimony. And this is a way I hope to open up and share how persons with disability live their life. Not only that, but motivation, because mostly that's what I love doing. I am not one to stick in a box. So normally they expect females to stick themselves in a box and stay there. But funny thing, here's what, I'm a female with a disability. Okay, cool. Now, the box gets even smaller for you, but I'm not that person. I have big dreams where I hope to work in a lab for at least a year. Right. And then I hope to transition and do forensic psychology, and also work on crime scenes and all of the above and all the greatness. So I'm one that doesn't like to be fit in a box. I like dynamic but structure. So
the box is going to expand, Ginnel. There is a global thrust. There is a mission for inclusion, diversity, and equality. And this is not just about people with disabilities, but all minority groups. Inclusion, diversity, and equality will allow the world to extract and to benefit from all of the talents that all of us have. Because, when you think about it, Ginnel, all human beings have limitations, right? And we've got to rise above them, but we each have something to give to finding the solutions to the problems that this world has. Now, indeed. I want to ask you, are you going to study any further? Do you see more studies on your horizon? I hear about your work. You want to work in forensics and you want to do your motivational speaking. Any more studying on the horizon for you?
Well, truth be told, I want to go back to university, but I don't have the funds to. I've said to myself, boy, if January come and the work don't come, I need to find myself in school and start the journey. But I honestly am very fearful, because when I started UE for my bachelor's, I did not know where the first dime was going to come from. And now I want to go into psychology. And I know that in Jamaica, we don't necessarily have it, forensic psychology, but we have clinical psychology and all of that. So if it is even to come back to my home, UE Mona campus, and study clinical psychology, that would be a beauty for me.
So
But
you're looking for a scholarship.
I hope I can get a
You're
scholarship.
looking for a scholarship in the meantime, but you might get some work experience. Wonderful,
Yes.
Ginnel. And so as we close off this wonderful talk, you know, on you, such an awesome young woman in STEM, I ask you, what do you say? What does this International Day for People with Disabilities mean to you as a person with disability?
This day of International Day for Persons with Disability Awareness Day, it means a lot to me because it not only brings awareness to various types of disabilities, but it also informs others how they can help persons with disability. And in so doing, it's paving the way to make it a less more tedious path for someone else that is going to come into the disability community, the disabled community rather. We might not know it, but with the awareness of, for example, letting someone know that there is a Jamaica Council for Persons with Disability where they can register with to gain access to various funds, including scholarships, that much I'll say. A lot of persons don't know that they can get academic, financial aids and so forth. A lot of persons don't even know that when they have a disability and they come to UA, I can tell you, there are scholarships that you can benefit from as a person with disability. So guess what? You're in the Faculty of Science and Technology, or you're in any faculty at all, you can benefit from a scholarship in the faculty. But guess what? You have a little extra salt over the side, a little extra seasoning, a little oomph over there, because guess what? There are scholarships there for persons with disability. I remember being awarded a grant at UA, which helped me along my journey. I remember even being awarded the Keith Peart scholarship. No, I don't know him. Dr. Keith Peart scholarship, memorial scholarship. And I remember when I entered that room and I spoke about my experience and my challenges, my grades weren't the best. But guess
there were
what?
other things that supported the grades.
Exactly. There were other things. I spoke about the challenges I faced and why my grades would have been that way. So not because you don't have the GPA that you think you need to have, you're not applying for the scholarships. They are there. There are years when they're not being used. Apply.
Yes. I always tell my students, the grades are important and the grades open the door, but you know, the competencies and those other dimensions to you keep you in the room, Ginnel, or even move you up from a ground floor to the penthouse, right?
Indeed.
So indeed. All right. And what do you need? What do you think people with disabilities need from the rest of us?
They need to be seen as individuals and not necessarily someone with a disability. I think because when we see someone with a limp or we see someone with something less of us, we think they're incapable. And I will say that they're more than capable. Sometimes these are the individuals that are allowing things to happen, things to move, and we don't even realize these are the same individuals that are moving borders and allowing for a lot of quote unquote normal persons to be able to function the way they are functioning. And we don't really realize. So not because you see me with a disability or you see me with a limp, that means I'm incapable. Guess what? I have other abilities that stands out and that is more than efficient and sufficient and grand to cover what limitation I have, because guess what? We are diverse. And funny thing, I can give you an example. I've seen blind persons walking together on the road and nothing happens to them because someone is leading, someone knows the way. And not because you see someone with a disadvantage in comparison to yourself, you believe that okay, I'm way off better than them. A lot of times, a limitation allows us to be more creative, finding innovative ways of doing things and excelling far and beyond, and work smart and not hard.
Right. So we're asking people to see persons with disabilities as human beings and to recognize that disability inclusion is essential to upholding human rights. And I think that comes from the United Nations. It's essential to sustainable development. It's essential to peace and security. And it's essential to the world achieving all of its developmental goals. No one left behind. But I hear you when you say, let us not limit people. Let us not judge them and limit them. So the fact that we are bringing awareness to people with disabilities is not saying that you should go and judge them and treat them as if they are not humans. It's a commitment to realizing the rights of people with disabilities. And that is not a matter of pity. That is not only a matter of equality and justice, but it's a matter of investing, like the United Nations says, in our future, of making the world benefit from the talents of each and every individual, not judging, but empowering. Isn't it, Ginnel?
Yes, it is.
Facilitating and empowering, not judging. And so on that note, everybody, go ahead, Ginnel.
Not only that, not all disability is visible. So a lot of times I'll say, I'll leave it here. You'll see someone and you'll not necessarily know that they have a disability. For example, people see me and they think I'm quote unquote normal until they see me walk, they realize something is up. So not because you see an individual, that means you readily assess the situation and assume that, oh, this person is okay. And if a person with disability says, no, thank you, it's not an offense. It's really an appreciation to know that someone cares so much to give assistance, but at the same time, we want to utilize the strength we have within, the ability we have within. That is why sometimes they will say, no, thank you, I want to do this myself. So when someone with a disability says no, it's not an insult. It's really, thank you. I realize I have a strength and I want to maximize on it.
Yes, I agree with you. Not all disabilities are physical and can be seen. Indeed, in the One UE policy, in the draft that I have seen, we have defined, it has been defined to include mental and intellectual sensory impairment also. So that is covered. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we bring this conversation with Miss Ginnel Peart to an end. What an afternoon, what a discussion, what a conversation this has been. I feel when I speak with you, ma'am, I feel a renewed hope in the future of Jamaica. I feel like there is nothing that can challenge my students here in the FST at UE and indeed all over Jamaica for them to not achieve their goals. Indeed, you have done it. And today, on this United Nations International Day for people with disabilities, we want to celebrate you, Ginnel, and to celebrate all of our people in Jamaica and all over the world with disabilities. And we want to bring this awareness that is necessary for all of us to build a sustainable future through a society that embraces inclusion, diversity, and equality for all. Thank you so much, Ginnel, and all the best. The FST is extremely proud of you. The UE is extremely proud of you as a woman in STEM, as an individual, as a person with disability. We salute you, ma'am, and I watch out to hear more greatness from you, Ginnel Peart. Thank you, everybody, and do have a great rest of the day.